Everybody, hello, and welcome to Visual Communication and Media. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. I'm so excited to have y'all here today, and welcome to the end of the year. We're almost there to 2024, so excited for that. And let's get into it. So I'm here to teach you for the next 5.5 weeks on visual communication and media. And I know everybody was probably say, well, I know how to communicate visually. I know I can read pictures and everything, but there's a lot to it. There's ways to design your media and the visual aspects to really gauge specific responses. And this can be triggered by sensory images, images that are triggered from perception, some from ethical situations, emotional situations, and even technical responses can gather really interesting viewpoints based upon who's viewing it, what culture they're from, and how they're used to seeing things over their own experiences. And that's really important over time. And that's what I'm here to teach you with. So we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of discussion work, and it's going to really be great to really kind of see what the insight is on how people build visuals. And we'll go into that in a lot of detail. So let me introduce myself real first, and we'll get into the details as we go forward. But yeah, let's get started. Welcome to week 1. So, just a little bit of background. I started all sorts of jobs. I went to Penn State, got my mechanical engineering degree and associates, and I was playing ice hockey at the time. I got to Division II, then I tore my knee out, but I was a big video gamer, and I loved RPG games, and eventually I was working in the airlines with my dad, bounced around a bunch of schools, but eventually I got to Full Sail, and I wanted to learn how to be a game designer. And I got into it, learned game design, learned project management. I got a lot of certifications in it. Started doing some student projects and created the Dinocalypse game with a bunch of my students, fellow students, and managed that whole team. And I was an internal producer right after school with them for a little bit, and then I was competing competitive gaming back then, like Gran Turismo 2, Battlefront 2, multiple MMOs. But then I finished my master's in science in game design and project management. I also got my bachelor's degree in entertainment business. And then I worked for a lot of other companies after that. Like I worked for GP Games, Activision. I also worked at EA as a producer and a gameplay analyst. And I've worked on over probably about not 40, more like 50 games in my career now. Recently, after EA, I went to Universal to work on my management and my operational skills. I got to work in attractions over there, and that was a lot of fun. And then I got to really work with VR development, and I worked with Burnout Game Ventures, did a lot of indie development, then worked with Wason, helped deliver 3 AAA games over there. And then I worked with a company called Mass Virtual doing XR training for the military, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of busyness. Air Force is interesting to deal with, but other than that, trying to get back in and really work with video games again, and that's really where my skills lie. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. A lot of bouncing around my past 15 years, so definitely have a lot of experiences across a lot of industries. That's really cool. So let's get into it a little bit. So I'm just going to talk about the assignments and what to look forward to. So you're going to get announcements on the announcements page. Go ahead and check that out. You'll see my rubrics. You'll see the intro. You'll also go ahead and try and post a little introduction on the course discussion in the course page, and also in the student channel as well. That way everybody can kind of get to know you and what's going on. But I have a few different types of assignments. I have discussions and written assignments. Discussions, keep in mind that they're just the normal discussions, but I do ask that you put at least 2 paragraphs per post. At least 4 to 5 sentences per paragraph. That's what I'm really looking for in a lot. So that would be really great because it helps foster. Please don't do those 1 or 2 sentences like, I like what you did here. You did great. It really doesn't add too much to the post, and you're not really learning from what the concept was and from your fellow students. So that's something I kind of take a look at. But I'll go over that a little bit more in class, just to what my expectations are and how I take a look at things. So that way you can know what I'm looking for. And that's great because I like going over the assignments with you in lecture, so you know what you're doing, how you need to go about it, and I can show you some different examples of how to do it that worked really well in previous classes. So that way you're prepared to do the best that you can do. So, all right, so you have discussions. Initial posts are always going to be on Tuesday. Reply posts due on Saturday, except for week 1. Week 1's always going to be on Saturday because we start midway through the weeks, and we start on Wednesday, so it's kind of unfair for me to judge you from a Tuesday. So make sure you turn in your first week on Saturday, all right? Reply post and initial post. But from those weeks on, 2 through 6, it's always going to be Tuesday and Saturday, just to be safe. Except for the final week on week 6, that'll be Friday. So keep that in mind. And that'll be December 15th. Same thing with written assignments. Written assignments are always going to be due on Sunday. They're really situational issues that happen with visual concepts for like marketing and for design. And we'll take a look at that through a lot of different response types and a lot of different scenarios that could be used and what responses that could be gathered from those assignments as well. Those are always going to be due on Sunday evening. Last minute that you can turn that in is 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Once it rolls over to that 12 o'clock Central in the morning, then it's late. So just to give you a heads up. The final day, no matter what, to turn in any assignment is December 15th. But I want to let you know, however you get your grades, if you do well or if you don't do well in those assignments, you're more than welcome to turn in a follow-up assignment based upon the feedback. That way you can improve your grade. I'm always okay with that. And I'll keep grading it to the end too, so just keep that in mind for you. So don't feel like your first grade is like, oh my, that's it. So no, I allow you to do version 2, version 3, version 4. How many times you feel like until you're done, you want to just call it quits on that assignment and go from there. So, sweet. All right, so live lectures, they're always going to be on Tuesday each week, except for week 1. That's going to be on Thursday. These are going to take place at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, except for week 1. See announcement. The time will be the same as well for week 1. It's just going to be on Thursday, not Tuesday, just to keep you in mind. But I know everybody has busy schedules. I know I'm in between contracts. I'm going to be bouncing around trying to find jobs as well, along with teaching. So, what happens if you miss a lecture? You don't have to be there, but your attendance is tied to finishing your lecture assignment. So that's something I'm really strict on. Probably one of the biggest things I'm strict on is since if you don't do your lecture assignment by the end of the week, by Sunday, it's an automatic 0. It's pass or fail. So and it ties to your attendance. So that's a big thing for me. Unless you run into a really big emergency, please contact me ahead of time so that way you don't like run into any problems or anything. I just don't want everybody to come in at the last week and be like, oh, I missed my 5 lecture assignments, and like, well, those are tied to your attendance. That's kind of tough. So I just want to let you know, please make sure if you get anything in by the end of the week, please make sure you do your live lecture and do the assignment. I'll tell you how to complete that on the first lecture on Thursday. So please be there for Thursday to kind of see how I want you to record those live lectures and how you go about that, because they're really easy 5 points. And there's 6 of them, so that's 30 points. And that could be the difference between like an A and a B or a C and a D. So just keep that in mind as well. So I'll teach you how to do the live lecture assignment and how to fill that out on Thursday for your first lecture. So that way you know what's going on and there's no problems or issues with that. So, sweet. And then finally, just some class expectations. Not only do I want the live lecture assignments, make sure they're turned in by the end of the week. If not, they're a fail. Because it ties to your attendance. But late assignments, I take 10% off the grade each day it's late. So, but once it's that 7th day, it becomes an automatic 0. Now, if you run into any issues, or if I know there's family issues and emergencies that happen, just contact me. Don't wait till the last minute, like the last 2 weeks. Like, please let me know, communicate me ahead of time, and I will bend my schedule to you and help you out as much as I can. I want to help you and succeed in many ways as possible. So please make sure you communicate if you're running any issues or anything. I'm all about communication. The moment you don't do that, I'm just going to put 0s across the board, and then you're going to get to week 6 and be like, oh, probably should fix all these assignments. And that's a lot of work to do in the last week, so don't do that to yourself. Stay ahead of the game. It's going to really help you out. Plus, you have all these other classes that you're dealing with, and mine's probably one of the more easier classes, so don't try to get in your head too much about that. And I'm sure there's a lot harder things, so just please make sure you stay ahead. I'll work with you. It's not a big deal. So, and then another thing too is we have a lot of feedback on our discussion posts, so just be courteous and respectful in those discussion posts. Give thorough feedback, all right? Don't give me answers that'll be like, I thought this was a great answer, and no feedback or no answers or no examples to back up your reasoning or your answer. If you just give me 1 to 2 sentences, I'm probably going to not give you a very high score because I don't think you really interpreted the assignment very well. And same thing with your reply posts as well. When you're giving feedback to other students, don't say, I like what you did here, great job, and that's it. Or I didn't like what you did here, you can improve somewhat. And you don't give any follow-up feedback to explain how they did very well. And if they didn't do very well, give them corrections as to how they could, this is how it should be and why, and give examples as to back up your reasoning. That's the big thing as well. Just try not to do the 1-2 cents thing. It's not going to work out really well, I promise you with that. And we'll go over all your assignments and how to complete them and the expectations I'm looking for in the lecture on Thursday to help you out. But the other thing is just have some fun. We're going to have a lot of discussions. We're going to talk a lot about different ideas and perceptions and how people view things in a lot of different ways, and it's going to be cool. So I just have 2 rules. Just discover, I hope you learn something, and also have some fun along the way. There's no point if you're enjoying if you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? So just have some fun, take it easy, one step at a time, and we'll have a great time. It's really going to help out. So sweet. Other than that, just go ahead and check the announcements. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody for lecture on Thursday. And those links are available not only on the announcement page, but they're also available on your course archive, the assignments, and also on your Teams channel. And there should be a Teams link on the announcements as well to point you into the Teams channel. If you need to communicate to me, Teams is always a great way to communicate with me. I have it on my phone, so if you send me a message, I'm going to see it right off the bat, and that's going to be huge. Or you can email me. There's best ways to go about that. Other than that, we'll go through everything and go through the websites and go through Blackboard and Teams on Thursday. However, it's a real pleasure to have y'all here. I'm really excited to teach y'all for the last course of this year, for this quarter. That way we can go to Christmas with a really cool positive element. And that's all I got. So please be safe, have fun. If you need anything, don't hesitate to holler. And it's a real pleasure to meet everybody. I'm really excited to have this course, and take it easy. All right, see everybody on Thursday. Bye-bye.